Supported by and do not reflect those of the Evening Rush Network. Viewers' discretion is advised.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Live Out of Three Sports Podcast. This is Coach Matt, and my man Tyler on the Evening Rush Network. What's going on, Ty?
What's going on, Matt?
Nothing much, man. Busy week. Last couple of days in sports. It's been really wild. So definitely have a lot to catch up on. We didn't have an episode last week because I had a game, but a lot going on this week. So we're definitely going to be packing it all in. But before we get started, please let the people know where they can find us on social media and the streaming platform to support the program.
Well, you can find us on all streaming networks, platforms, services, whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. Social media, we on Live or Live by the Three Sports Podcast on Instagram.
Please follow, and please subscribe to the or download the app, I should say, the Even Rush Network app. A lot of great programming on there besides our show, and support the family on the network. A lot of great programming for your enjoyment, and but please follow, subscribe to our YouTube page, and everywhere you can find us to support the program. So, without any further ado, let's dive right in, man. So, the trades, there's been a lot of stuff happening in the NBA, obviously a lot of big news, but the trades have been the big story. So I guess, the most recent one, right, was the second domino to fall from the Brooklyn Nets was Kevin Durant. So why don't we start with that one? So Kevin Durant, former Brooklyn Net now, got traded to the Phoenix Suns for the big piece in that other trade. I have the exact trade, but the big piece that the Suns gave up was Mikal Bridges, who was a good player for them, and but he moves on to Brooklyn now. So it was the Brooklyn Nets traded the second of their two All-Stars in a blockbuster move Wednesday night. Goes to the Phoenix Suns for Jay Crowder, Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, and some draft picks, and then. I heard that Jay Crowder ended up getting switched over to the Milwaukee Bucks, which is makes them a little bit stronger team. So that'll be an interesting dynamic. But let's start with KD, because that was the most recent one. So what were your thoughts on that trade?
Well, maybe the Suns might finish the deal this time, man.
What's that?
Might finish the deal.
You think that can bring them in the West? They can get it done.
Booker, CP3.
Yep, a healthy Booker. Yep.
Like that's tough.
Right, and I know that a big piece for them was holding on to DeAndre Ayton, so that that there was some discussion about whether he would be moved if they made any changes or trades. But having an inside presence definitely keeps them strong. So and then they got my boy Damian Lee coming off the bench. So that's a shameless plug, but but that's my man. But Phoenix. Listen, two of the best scorers in the league and one of the best he's a little older now, so I don't know where you would rank him but he's definitely one of the best point guards to ever play statistically, and he's still a very good player. And then you put him with two elite scorers. That's pretty formidable. Pretty formidable. I know they lost a little bit of defense, losing Mikal Bridges, but he was starting to come into his own a little bit. On the offensive end, especially with Devin Booker out. So let's start with that aspect of it, with him moving to Phoenix. Where would you think that puts them now in the power rankings? Let's say in your head for the West Coast now. Like what position would you put them in?
Might be number two.
Number two after who?
I'm gonna say Denver. I don't know why I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah, that either one or two. That puts them up there. That puts them up pretty high.
No. And then what?
Win it.
What's that? That's definitely an all-in move. It is. That's an all-in move. And maybe they're looking at their window. We'll see.
KD. KD is like 30, 35.
I don't think he's 35. I think he might be
34.
He's 34, yeah, right. So, but I mean, I'm saying as far as the window with, I mean, yeah, 35. I mean, we look at that and say, oh, 35 is not, but that's still pretty
He's a
old.
jump shooter, so
Yeah, right. But I mean, if they're looking at it, it's I'm in CP3's window, right? If they're looking at like, maybe he's only got a year or two left, that he might be able to get a deep run in the playoffs.
The King.
What's that?
Sacramento's in third place in the West.
Yeah, Sacramento's been rolling. Good young talent. De'Aaron. Yeah, De'Aaron Fox and the young Sabonis, the second coming of Sabonis. Yeah, no, they got a good young nucleus out there, man. They're doing well. I mean, part of it is, I mean, the Lakers aren't doing well. The Clippers have been injured, right? So, there's been some teams in the West that are faltering a little bit. I mean, you still got Memphis, still got New Orleans, but, Sacramento's been steadily getting it done. Like you said, Mike Brown's been doing a good job, and they have good young talent. So they're rolling. So, but you still like Phoenix in that in that 2 spot.
Yeah, because the Grizzlies is there. I don't see. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, with three, you got 3 Hall of Fame. Well, I mean, assuming the trajectory of Booker's career, you'll say he'll probably be he's definitely an all-star and then a Hall of Famer. So you got 3 very high-level players, probably all are going to be Hall of Famers on the team at the same time. So that definitely gives you a chance. And the Grizzlies don't have that. The Pelicans don't have that. So yeah, I mean, I could definitely see them being up there. Okay, so that now that's on the Phoenix side. We'll talk about the first chip to drop on the Brooklyn Nets side, but what are your thoughts from the Brooklyn Nets perspective on making that move as far as getting rid of KD? Like I said, they got Mikal Bridges coming in, who's on the rise player. What's that?
They got a good squad. They got a lot of
Yep.
I just feel bad for Jack Vaughn because he had them balling, and now you start all over.
Well, that's how they do us, and then then if they don't win the championship, then they'll be ready to try to fire somebody. That's how they do us. They take all your talent, take all the talent, and then then say, oh, you're underperforming. So that's typical, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, but you never know. Like, well, let me ask you this: what do you think? And obviously, you have the Kyrie situation, which we'll get to. But what do you think precipitated all that? What do you think the upper management, the front office, the ownership? What do you think their motivation was to move on from the 2 big superstars? Like I said, we'll talk about Kyrie once we get through Durant. But what do you think their motivation was to move those guys after they did so much to bring them in together?
I think Durant might have been the relationship that they had with him.
Yeah.
I think he had a pretty good relationship, so they sent him where he wanted to go. So I think that's what that was about. Kyrie.
Why do you think they did it? Why do you think they did it though? Just because he asked? He said, "I don't want."
No, just based off the relationship. Like I think that they knew where they was going, and they didn't keep him in that type of situation where he didn't. They wasn't going to win because they know how much he wants to win. So I think that might have been like a relationship type trade.
Okay.
Because if it was KD, they'd have just left him there. I mean, Kyrie, they'd have just left him there.
Right. So you think that once they made the move with Kyrie, they in their heads said, okay, now we're going, we tried to, stack these dudes. It didn't work out. So now we're going to rip it apart and rebuild again. And then they said, well, let's get KD out of here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, is that what you're thinking once they started breaking up Kyrie?
Well, they got a good little nucleus coming, in return.
Right.
But I just think they don't want to, like I said, I think it's just all relationship, man. I think if KD would have, rubbed them the wrong way, they'd have just kept him and be like, all right, well, you're going to stay. But they getting some, you're getting Mikal Bridges and some, but they got like 4 second-round picks.
Yeah, a bunch of picks.
KD was 34. And the Nets really been rebuilding since they came to Brooklyn.
Right.
What I'm saying? So it's not like they stable.
Right. Well, that's the interesting thing that I always feel like the Nets do this a lot, but it's similar to the Mets and the Jets do the same thing. I don't know. It's the Nets, Mets, and Jets. They all do the same thing because they're always the smaller fish in the pond. They go from they get all these draft picks, they get young, and then they get pretty good. The team is young and exciting. And then for whatever reason, once it gets to that point, they always want to say, all right, let's try to upgrade and bring all these superstars in and bring all the, and it sells a lot of newspapers and, oh, look, we got this superstar, da-da-da-da-da. It doesn't work out. And then they tear it back down again. Then they get a nice young nucleus. The team is young and exciting, making a run, like they, because the Nets have done this like 2 or 3 times now since they've been in Brooklyn, right? You know what I mean? Where they have a nice little, no superstars, but a nice little young core. The coach is doing well. They're formidable, right? It's exciting. And then they say, all right, we're going to, throw all these monies at these aging superstars. They did it with Paul Pierce and KG. They tried that, didn't work out. Then they rip it all apart again. Get young, get exciting, get some momentum. All right, now we're going to do the same thing with KD and Kyrie and James Harden. And so they just keep doing it. I don't know why, but that that seems to be their pattern. Yeah. And I don't know, maybe that's they saw the writing on the wall and they said, all right, we tried it to do this championship run with these guys. It didn't work out. James Harden got shipped last season or the season before. They brought in Ben Simmons, and that's a whole nother story. And then now Kyrie, they decided to move on from him, and then, like you said, maybe they did KD a favor by getting him out of there to a destination that, he was comfortable with. So Brooklyn, like I said, they got the young kid Cam Thomas that been putting up a lot of points in the last few games. So maybe they feel like, so
43 games in a row.
Yeah.
I think that helped too. He was like, shit, we got somebody.
Yeah, we got somebody, and and maybe I was gonna, I had some thoughts on this, but maybe I'll save it for after we talk about Kyrie. But I just think maybe they just say, you know what, we're just tired of it, and they just want some young, hungry guys that, aren't going to be complaining all the time and want to get traded and just dealing with drama. So maybe they just decided, you know what, enough is enough. Let's just go with some young, hungry guys like a Cam Thomas, like a Mikal Bridges, and just kind of build around them and see how far they can go with that without the headache, I guess. So.
But I heard with Kyrie, I think this contract was based off of them winning a championship or something like that.
Yeah, that I don't know how much of it's confirmed, but I did hear there was some language in there about I guess incentives is one way you could describe it, but more so like
I like your politics. You a nice politics. You work with the next show?
Well, okay. Well, let's do this. Let's do this. I was gonna go back to the West Coast and then coming back to Kyrie. I was going to kind of go in chronological order of when the trades happened, but let's bump that. Let's talk about the Kyrie situation with the trade to Dallas. So there's a couple of different angles with that. So Kyrie, a couple of days before the trade deadline, decided to ask for a trade, say he wanted out. I'm sure he has his reasons. Maybe it has something to do with the everything that went on with his suspension a few months back, and the relationships there getting frayed. But he asked for a trade and he got one, and they sent him to Dallas. So again, we can talk about this from two sides. So let's start about the future, and then we'll go to the past. So his trade to Dallas. What are your feelings on that? How does that improve, not improve, stays the same for Dallas? What are your thoughts on him moving to Dallas?
I think it's it might be the perfect environment for him because their owner is a little what's the word? Unconventional, maybe.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I think that's he allows people to be who they are. He had Rodman, party with Rodman.
Yeah, he did.
I think, and Kyrie is 30, Luka's 23.
Mm-hmm.
For the next 5-6 years, like they can cause havoc. They can cause havoc in the league. I like to trade. I think Luka is going to be I think he's going to benefit more than anybody. Just being around. He already nice at 23.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Being around Kyrie with that skill set. Yeah, I think it's, I was kind of hoping he would go to LA, but Dallas is cool.
So now, okay, so we can touch on the LA situation. But what are your thoughts on? Do you think they'll coexist well together?
Absolutely.
Why do you feel absolutely?
Because Kyrie could play off the ball.
Kyrie
play with LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like if you could play with LeBron, you could play with anybody. Because LeBron dominates the ball.
LeBron dominates the ball, but LeBron dominates the ball to get other guys opportunities. And I do think that Luka is a point guard. I think he plays that position and he does pass. I'm not saying he's a selfish player, but he wants the ball in his hands at the end of the like LeBron isn't necessarily a guy that says, I want the ball in my hands when the shot clock is running down. He'll take, he'll try to score and he'll do some things, but he's going to look like, hey, shot clock's running down. I'm going to look to make the right play. I feel like both of those guys want the ball in their hand when the shot clock is running down.
Hold on 1 second.
Yep.
Shelter talk.
Okay.
No, but I mean, that's true, but he still got the ball in his hands. Whether he's passing or shooting, Kyrie don't have the ball. I think Luka might defer to Kyrie a little bit.
That'll be in that's the one
he
thing
might
that
have to.
Yeah. He might. Now that's gonna. Well, let me ask you this: what do you think, Jay? Now, obviously, the league is a little bit different, right? Because you got superstars and you got coaches, but Jason Kidd is the coach. What do you think he's saying?
That's another thing. No. But now, see, I could be wrong. If you treat Kyrie like a man, he's gonna respond.
Well, I'm just saying from the perspective of, I'm saying more so from the perspective of, all right, is this time now?
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like Jason Kidd is someone that's been around the league, a Hall of Famer or whatever. Is he a Hall of Famer? He is, right?
Yeah, I don't know if I don't think he is now,
but he'll be a Hall of Famer, so that's somebody that's going to honor that type of respect. When you're talking to Kyrie, it's going to be you're going to be looking at somebody that's one of the best point guards, giving you this information, not just a regular.
Right.
You know, and so I think that plays a big part because he'll buy into whatever. What you looking like? You don't think so, but I think he'll buy into it.
Because it didn't work with Steve Nash.
Steve Nash is a whole different. Come on,
I'm just saying the way you qualified it with one of the best point guards ever.
I'm pretty sure Steve Nash's approach is different than Jason Kidd's approach.
Oh yeah, I mean they're different.
You know what I'm saying? It's like we don't have to state the obvious.
But
I believe his approach is a little more like yo.
Let me highlight.
No, because you know what? Look. Kyrie could be looking like Steve Nash, but I'll bust your ass.
He could.
You can't say that. Jason Kidd, like you can say that, but it's like
you don't know. Yeah, you might not. Yeah.
So it's like you got to be careful with that. That's I'm talking about the respect type thing.
I feel you. I mean, I understand what you're saying and how it qualifies. I'm just saying it from the straight up and down. I mean, you talk about a Hall of Fame point guard, 2-time MVP.
Yeah, and you got MVP 2 times when people was like, you shouldn't have got it.
Yeah, you shouldn't have got
so
it.
Like, you ain't really earned it. You got it because, whatever.
Because they didn't want to give it to Kobe.
Yeah.
All right. So but my question is for Jason Kidd, though, who do you think he's going to rock with? Like, as far as like, okay, yeah, I had Luka and Luka's been doing it. And people are saying that Luka might be the face of the league. Right. But are you telling Kyrie, yo, you got to defer to Luka? Or are you telling Luka, like, yo, you got to let Kyrie rock? Like, how do you think he's going to, because if they all embrace each other and it's kumbaya and, they just mesh and for whatever, they have a great understanding and it all fits together, cool. But that still remains to be seen. And if it's like, yo, we got to pick one, like it's the last shot for the dough or last game.
Who got the matchup? That's easy. Who got the matchup? They both point guards. So who's hot? Who got the matchup? Maybe set a pick. One of them pick for the other.
Right.
This is one thing I do know. And this goes back to like with KD in Arizona. It's hard to find a team that have 2 real good defensive players.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard to find a team that has 1, but to have 2,
right? That
shit is hard.
It is, but now that's another thing.
We talking about 2 guards. They 2 point guards. It's not a point and a 3. Like your 1 and 2 got to be.
They both can handle it. Yep.
Yeah. So it's like they almost got similar games, but like you saw what he did with the Clippers yesterday.
Now listen, man. Listen, there's no denying that. But I mean, he's supremely talented, man. The off the court stuff.
defer to him a little bit because he's 23. He might be a little starstruck. He know who Kyrie is. I think he's gonna defer a little bit.
I mean, it just remains to be seen because I don't know Luka's personality. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if he's like, nah, man, I'm that dude. I'm that guy. Like, nah, this is my team. I've been doing this. Now, they haven't won like that, but
you haven't done anything yet, though.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, I don't know Luka's personality. I don't know. So that'll be, that's.
I like it, though. I like it. They tough.
So you think that improved? So all right. So where do you think that bumps them up to now? Where do you think Dallas stacks up in the West now with that addition to their team?
I don't know. They got to be easy top 5.
Top 5. Okay.
The reason why I say top 5 is because right now they 4.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. They 3 games out. Yeah, they top because Kyrie's balling, man.
He's playing well. He's playing
well. You can't do nothing with that, man.
So now, so let's get right. So he was playing well. So and things seem to be trending in the right direction in Brooklyn, right? So they were playing well. They're doing well. What do you think was the reason why he decided to ask for a trade at the deadline?
Oh, respect.
Respect.
Easy.
But in which regard? Financially, just respect
for the contract that they will offer him. It's like, oh, okay, y'all gonna do all this. You're gonna make me apologize, have me go through all these hoops, and then you're gonna give me this contract. Oh, okay. Now y'all don't fuck with me. So I'm out. I think that's.
So, do you think the Nets were out of line for putting? I don't know if we'll ever see what the specifics were, but do you think they were out of line for?
Well, it depends. If their goal was to get him out, then they achieved their goal.
So you're saying you think it might be they worded things a certain way because they knew that it would piss him off and be like, I want to be out.
I did not say that. I said if that was their goal, they did it.
Okay. All right.
That's what I said. I don't know, but more than likely that's probably what the hell happened. They probably
You think so? You think so? So you don't think
you got to know what you're dealing with, though.
Okay, but what if it was really just no? This is straight up business, and like you've shown, and I'm not talking about the controversy with the anti-Semitic. I'm not talking about that, but just let's keep it real.
I'm listening.
Dude's had a lot of injuries, right? And then we had the COVID situation where he just decided not to get vaccinated, so didn't play. But he was still getting paid during all of that, right? So from a business perspective, if it's your money and it's just like, okay, I'll give you your money if you're showing up to work when you're supposed to be there. And the injury thing is, but the reality is he has had a long injury history in his career where he's missed a lot of games. Even in college, he had an injury thing, right? So he's missed a lot of games over the course of his career. There was some speculation that at times he just didn't feel like playing. So says, yeah, I'm hurt. I can't play, So if from a business perspective, is it smart, fair, whatever, for the ownership to put in some stipulations into, okay, we'll give you a max contract, but only if you meet X, Y, and Z. You play a certain amount of games in this time.
I believe it's fair if you have a championship level team.
Did they look like they were trending in that direction, do you think?
What do you think?
I mean, you never. Well, here's the thing. If they all stay healthy, yeah.
Who's they all? If this was
KD, Kyrie, right, all of them.
If this was the team that had KD, him, and James Harden, that's a different conversation.
Absolutely.
Because if Kyrie didn't get hurt, they probably would have been champions.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
So I don't think the team was built to win a championship. And based off of the history of how they make their moves, it's like, oh, y'all setting me up because y'all know y'all not going to win a championship.
Well, I'm not blaming Kyrie from getting hurt, but you just said it. He got hurt, and I'm not saying it was his fault. He got hurt.
No. But I'm just saying, but he got hurt.
Yeah,
and it was wiping Milwaukee out.
That's true.
It wasn't even close. So what saying is the way that team was set up, like nobody could do nothing with them.
Right.
So if you hit him with that contract with that type of team, then it's like maybe like shit, we're gonna win anyway. Like, why wouldn't we win?
Right.
But with the team that they got now, it's like, y'all kidding me. With Ben Simmons? y'all gonna give me that with Ben Simmons? Oh, okay. Yeah, y'all real funny. Y'all real funny. Y'all really funny. That's how I would look at it.
Okay. I get. So you're saying that so you're saying it's more because of the move they made with Harden and Simmons that you feel like
No,
he knew that
they don't have the team to support their demands.
Gotcha.
They don't have a championship level.
Well, that's if they put in, you'll get the full max if we win the championship. That I don't know. You think so?
Who else gets that type of contract?
I don't know. I mean, I don't.
Like with that type of language, that direct language, who else get that type of contract?
But we don't know what that incentive was though. So say like, what's a max contract in the NBA? What is it? Say, let's just say it's 50. Let's just say it's 50 million. I don't know what it is. Let's just say it's 50 million. So what if they said, okay, we'll give you a max contract and you'll hit 50 million if we win the championship. But if you don't win the championship, it's 48. Is that, now I don't, what I'm saying, I'm just using that as just a ballpark number. I'm just throwing that out there. Is that unreasonable? Say, well, you can hit the max number if we win a championship, but if you don't, you still get 48. If you play the games and do, you know what I mean? Like it's $2 million. $2 million is a lot of money, but I'm just saying.
That's not unreasonable.
Okay, so if that's the way it went, we don't, like I said, we'll never see the contract that they offer them to be able to say for sure one way or the other. But I don't know, man. So like, I just feel like, and it's been funny in the media or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. People have been going at the ownership of Brooklyn.
Listen to what he said. Hold on. It says Kyrie Irving camp did not negotiate after the Nets presented an offer that was tied to the team winning a championship.
Right.
Told the issue was not about money, and now it said he wouldn't even stay if offered a full max contract. So I can't even imagine what type of contract. If they offered him the full, he said he wouldn't stay. He wouldn't stay. Can you imagine what type of contract?
Are they saying that now because they're saying that they were insulted that the max contract had the base, the stipulation or whatever, the incentive, however you want to frame it, was tied to the championship. And
he said Haynes continued to report that Irving was so insulted by this, shall we say, conditional offering that he wouldn't even sign with the Nets if they offered the full.
Right, but that's what I'm saying.
Max.
Right, but I'm saying, if the full max was $1 million, $2 million, whatever, off of the max for winning the championship.
Oh, okay. It says you don't elaborate on the exact language of the championship stipulation, but it could be tied to the final year of the deal not being guaranteed unless perhaps the Nets were to win a title between now and then.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. We don't know what that amount of money is, so it could have been $1 million.
It could have been $30 million.
That's true. That's
basically,
true.
Could just cut. They don't win the chip. They could just cut them.
Right. And then
he signed up for that.
And he got insulted by that. But you bring up a good point. And because people have been criticizing the ownership, saying they had all these guys and they're rolling and they did all of that. But if you're the owner of the team and you have a lot of money, you're a billionaire, right? And you say you don't know that much about basketball, but you're a billionaire. You're doing this for fun. You own an NBA team. If you don't like the people that you're paying this money to, and you don't like the stuff that they do, isn't it, obviously the goal in sports and as an owner is to win. But if you don't like the people and you don't want to hear them complaining and you don't want to deal with their stuff, is that unreasonable for you to say, all right, yeah, like we might have had a good team and some talented team, but I don't like these dudes. I don't want to deal with them. Is that if it's your money?
That's right.
Yeah, right. So like people are saying they're bad owners, but I'm like, I can see it, what you're saying from a competitive standpoint. But if I'm a billionaire and this is one of my toys, why am I putting up with a headache with people that I don't like?
That's why, because he don't understand the game.
But is it about the game or I'm just tired of listening to these dudes complain.
You don't even understand what you don't like, though.
What's that?
You're a billionaire. This is a hobby. Anything that you have that's a hobby, you ain't invested in. So you're going to deal with it as such. You're going to play with it when you want to play with it. Mm-hmm. It's like you pick up the video game. You're like, you know what? All right, cool. I'm going to play for 2 hours. And you're like, you know what? I ain't going to play for 2 weeks.
Right, when it's not fun.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a hobby. It's nothing like you invested in. And being invested means that you know the ins and outs. Like, I believe they knew you ain't a billionaire and not strategic.
Sure.
They knew exactly we're going to offer him this, because he's going to respond this way.
But I'm saying even
before they can't outwardly say no, I don't want to offer it. So they
no, I get that. I get that, but I'm saying even before that, I'm saying, all right, man, look, I got this money, I got the team. All right, we want these superstars. Okay, get Kyrie, we'll get Kevin Durant, get James Harden, bring in Steve Nash, who all of these people got together and said, this is what we want, this is what we want to do it. And then things start happening. Dudes aren't playing because of, COVID vaccines. Then you have some controversy. Then dudes are upset. They're complaining. I want to get traded. I don't like the direction of the organization. I don't like what we're doing. This, that, and the third. So I'm going all the way back to them, and then everything that's happened in the 4 years since. And then so now everybody's saying, oh, what are they doing? These guys had James Harden and Kevin Durant and Kyrie, and now look at the team they have, and they got rid of everybody. That's bad ownership. But I'm looking at it like, okay, they gave them dudes whatever they wanted, everything that they asked for. It didn't work out. Some was injuries and different things, but it didn't work out. And now the owner's like, all right, I don't like the headache of these people that I'm dealing with. I just want to move on. I want to deal with a Mikal Bridges. I want to deal with a Cam Thomas. I'd rather deal with them and maybe not have the superstar, but they're not going to be in my office or texting me complaining every 20 minutes and firing the coach and you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to deal with it.
I think they took advantage. They saw opportunity. They saw Kyrie balling out of control. And they was like, yeah, we can move him now. Because he's doing what he got to do. So let's
but my thing is, why would you do that? And the only reason you would do it is because you don't like him. You don't want to be around him.
No, because you're not invested in winning. It's not your number one priority. Is not an NBA championship.
So you don't think if those guys were
break real quick.
Yeah, we got to go to break. All right, yeah, we'll bring this back after break. So let's go to halftime on Live by the Three Sports podcast. We'll be back.
Hey, what's up, you guys? It's your girl, Chrissy, here to let you know that the Evening Rush Network now has an app. Yes, an app, you guys. So you can stay connected on the go and watch all your favorite podcast shows. You can download the app at Google Play Store or Apple iTunes. So spread the word. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Also, if you're looking to start a podcast and really don't know how, well, hit us up at the Evening Rush Network at gmail.com and inquire about time slots, pricings, and everything you may need to get started. We got you. Join the winning team, the Evening Rush Network. And also, download that app. What are you waiting for? Get to it. Now, here are our sponsors.
Welcome back, everybody. Live by the Three Sports podcast on the Evening Rush Network. It's Coach Matt. Tyler will be back in a second. And we're just chopping it up about the NBA trades. And we left off before the half. We left off talking about the Brooklyn Nets situation. We'll see how it all pans out. Like I said, I my personal opinion is things didn't work out. They had their little window of where they had the core of all the guys they brought in together, and it was just a lot going on. And my personal opinion is the owner just was like, man, I'm just tired of dealing with these dudes. I'm tired. I'm just tired of it. It's talent and we could maybe piece it together, but I'm just tired of dealing with them. And so he said, I'm moving on. I agree with you that they did do it in a way to kind of force people's hands, but I just think they just got tired of dealing with it. With just like, I'm done. I mean, like I said, if you're a billionaire, like, why would you put up with that? If you don't want to, I'm not saying anybody did anything, crazy. I'm not saying that, but if you just like, I don't want to deal with this, with these people, not with the whole thing. I just don't want to deal with them. So, okay, y'all go ahead.
When you say them, what do you mean them?
I'm talking specifically. Well, let's look specifically. I think Kyrie first, and then KD second, because.
But you said KD where he want to go.
You did, but he also still was according to media reports, we don't know, but that he was complaining also before the season started, saying, I don't like the composition of the roster. I'm considering, looking at trade offers or whatever. I wouldn't be opposed. You know what I mean? Like there was some, at least according to reports, there was some stuff like that going on with him as well. So you know, like it's just like, yo, man, this
They
was your.
still sent him where he wanted to go, though.
Yeah. I'm not saying the relationship was frayed like beyond repair. I'm just saying that to me, it kind of looks like, you know what, man, we tried this, it didn't work, and I just don't want to deal with these dudes. So all right, man, yeah, you cool, I like you, go ahead, go to Phoenix.
Yeah, I know they strong personalities.
Yeah, right.
I don't think the owner cared enough. Like, I don't think he cared. I don't think he
cared enough to put up with it. I think he doesn't care enough to put up with it. That's what I'm saying. He wants to win, but if he got to deal with all
of think you want to win?
To a point of I don't want to deal with these dudes. You know what I'm saying? Like the personalities, not the players, the personnel. I don't want to deal with them. You know what I mean? Like it's too much with these guys. I don't, you know what I mean? I'm in meetings all the time about this and that, and I don't like this, and you guys didn't do that, and you know, like this is like, you know what, man? I'll deal with Cam Thomas and Mikal Bridges, you know, Ben Simmons, we paying him a lot of money to give us 6 points a game. But if he start opening his mouth too much and saying stuff that I don't want to, you know, hear, he's complaining, he could go too. You know what I mean? Like that's how I see it. I could be wrong because I don't have any inside knowledge. That's just how I look at it. So another disgruntled player got shipped during the trade before the trade deadline. Russell Westbrook is no longer a member of the Los Angeles Lakers. He's been moved to Utah. Okay, but I haven't seen it.
I thought he went to Orlando for Mo Bamba.
Russell Westbrook?
Yeah.
So did that happen? They bought him out and he's on.
I thought they traded him. You know the Lakers got Mo Bamba, right?
I did not know. When did that? How recent did that happen?
6 hours ago. Oh no. They got Patrick Beverly for Mo Bamba. Yeah, Russell Westbrook did go to.
Right. Okay. So they traded Patrick Beverly for Mo Bamba. Okay.
Conley went somewhere. It was like a 3-team trade.
Okay, 3-team trade. So so the Lakers get some inside help with Mo Bamba. Okay.
Yeah, they did John Wall dirty.
They traded the Clippers traded John Wall?
Guess where?
Not back to the Wizards. Not back to Houston. Oh wow. Oh wow. Whoa, man. I don't like to see that. You know, I was hoping for John Wall that he would have a resurgence with the Clippers. I thought that was a good spot for him, and I was hoping that he could get himself together out there, and it would be a good look for him. I'm not, I can't say I'm a fan, but I appreciate John Wall as a player. He's a good player, and he's obviously went through some things, and I was hoping that he would, bounce back and resurrect with the Clippers, but it didn't work out. So wow, yeah. So now, yeah. So Russell Westbrook. So that that's a good move for the Lakers, getting some inside help with Mo Bamba and live body, young, athletic. So help him inside. So, but Russell Westbrook now got I don't know if it's happened, but I know he got traded to Utah. But then they were saying there was a possibility they were going to buy him out of his contract, and then he would be a free agent, and could get signed by any team to pick him up. So obviously that's something that was discussed ad nauseum throughout last season and this season, that he could be possibly traded just because the fit wasn't well, and obviously it didn't go right, and the Lakers aren't winning also at the level that they thought they should be. I don't know if you can put that all on Russell Westbrook, because Anthony Davis has been hurt. Obviously LeBron is playing at a really high level, but they gave up a lot, and they're paying Russell Westbrook a lot of money, and it hasn't translated to them being a championship contender. So what were your thoughts? Obviously, like I said, it's something that has been discussed that it was going to happen for a long time. But what were your thoughts on how it actually happened, him going to Utah, and what are your thoughts on Russell Westbrook being traded?
I mean, it was a long time coming.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not surprised. I mean, Utah, I don't even know if they're even good. Are they even good?
Well, they talk about if the talk at least is, they don't want him either. They're just going to buy out his contract and keep the picks. I don't know if it's, I don't know that was a discussion at least. So that
maybe he might end up in Brooklyn. I don't know.
Well,
I think got into an argument with Darvingham, and that's the
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let me ask you this, because this is, let me ask, have you ever in your basketball watching days and following the NBA ever seen a situation like this with a Hall of Fame player where like dude's coming off the bench and they're getting traded in the middle of the season and just like bought out of their, like, you know what I mean? Like, and now we're not talking about a dude that's 40 years old. You know what I mean? Like I've never seen anything like this with a dude that's a Hall of Fame player.
Nah, I never seen it. He's only 34 years old. He probably need to go back to OKC. He probably need to go to Chicago with Billy Donovan.
And you think he can understand him?
But that's who we had in OKC, right?
Yeah, for a little while.
He's young though. He got about he got about 2 more years. This might be his last year. I don't know, man.
He made a lot of money, that's for sure.
Yeah,
he's making a lot of money. Yeah, he is. He is. I don't know, man.
Like purgatory, kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
well, I mean, but at some point, whose fault is it? And I'm not, again, listen, we're talking about a Hall of Famer, but I mean, at a certain point, I mean, like I said, I've never seen a Hall of Famer get I don't even want to say treated like that, because I can't say that it's unwarranted for the production and, the stuff that you do, like, it's not leading to winning. So, like, I can't say how he's been treated, because I can't say it's been like, it doesn't seem and I'm not in the situation, but it doesn't seem unfair to me. I'm just looking at the numbers in the games and the efficiency, and just like, yeah, he should be coming off the bench, if that. You know what I mean? Like,
he might do worse in Utah. Who they got on their team? Jordan Clarkson, Rudy Gay, Colin. Yeah, he ain't going. Him and Colin Sexton ain't going to rock.
Oh no. Colin Sexton's about a bucket.
Yeah, he's gonna get traded. He's gonna end up in fucking.
Yes, I mean that's a great question.
Sacramento, because they're good now.
That's a great question. So if the Utah Jazz does, obviously it's, speculation, we don't know, but if they do buy out of his contract, who is a good fit for him? I mean, if you're
might be with the Pistons.
That's what I'm saying. If you're a team, regardless of the fit and what else they have on their roster, if you're a team that you think you could be maybe on the verge of a championship, like maybe you're not at the top tier, but you feel if you add a little bit more talent, you might get in that conversation. Are there any teams like that at this point that would say, what's that?
What about Phoenix?
I mean,
just think about the dynamics of the team.
To be Chris Paul's backup? I mean, I know Kevin Durant wouldn't be happy about that. But
didn't they squash their beef?
They might have squashed their personal beef, but I'm talking about just like, like, I don't want to play with they might have squashed their personal beef. But what's that?
He can't do all that at Phoenix, though.
I'm just saying, but if he's well, here's the thing. The issue would be, number one, that's a hell of an expensive backup point guard. And not just that, like the risk, not the risk reward, but the payoff of the investment, like Chris Paul is still going to be playing 38, 40 minutes. I mean, like, when are you going to take him out?
What about Miami?
I don't see him and Jimmy Butler getting over. I don't know.
They might.
Right, exactly. I don't know about that. He looked Jimmy Butler off one time. Jimmy Butler.
No, but I'm looking at systems that could kind of check.
Yeah. Well, is it a play? Well, let me ask you this: is it a player or a coach that could keep him in check, or both? Because if it because now is it can Eric Spoelstra? So do you think Eric
system? He coming into a whole system.
Okay.
He play hard. He plays D. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole system. You don't play D? Okay. He plays hard. He tries to play D.
He tries to play D. Okay, there you go.
But it's a whole system. You got to be in shape. You got to do this.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, yeah, that Pat Riley. Yeah, no question. That's old school. That's an old school situation.
Bigger than a player, so he might fit in because It ain't about him. It's about the team.
But how old is he? 34. You said.
34. Yep.
So you don't think he's too stuck in his ways? Like he hasn't changed yet, and he's been in the league for 14 something, almost 14, 15 years, and he ain't changed yet.
He wasn't bad. Like he just
he's not not a bad player. I'm just saying like but change as far as like people have been telling him like, yo, stop shooting threes in the last 2 minutes of the game, stop turning the ball over, stop. You know what I mean? And he still does it. It's the same stuff he did as a rookie. Is the same stuff he does now.
That's why he's a Hall of Famer. Yo. You can't turn that shit off.
But that's also why they put his ass on the knot and train him too. Oh man, yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm a championship contender, and and I may be one superstar Hall of Famer away from maybe making a run. I don't know if I'm signing up for that, especially with that money. Like I said, because you said with Phoenix, all right, that's a hell of a $45 million backup point guard. I mean,
they don't have to. They buy him out.
That's true. If they buy out his contract, but then, I mean,
they get him.
But then that would be on him now. See, he would get his money, and now it would be on him to say, okay, would I take a? I mean, I don't think he would take a league minimum contract. That's a little bit, but would he take?
But if you get 45, you're not going to get. What do you think you're going to get?
Well, I don't know him to say what would be important to him, because obviously the teams that have a lot of young dudes and don't have big contracts are probably teams that aren't that good. Those are the teams that can afford to give him.
Might end up in Philly.
But if you're Philly, would you? This is my question. If you're Philly, though, do you do that
for 1.2, 2.5?
I don't think he's doing that.
Okay,
he might. I mean, like you said, if he gets bought out, he's going to be sitting on 45. But I get that. I don't know if he would take.
But he's already getting 45.
I feel you, but just from a stature standpoint, I don't know if he would say
that type of money.
What's that?
He can't command 20 million. He
but
can't.
Ty, that's a hell of a drop off to say. Yeah, he's going to get the 45 that he's owed. But I'm saying to go from 1 year or 2 years ago, you're a 45, and he what was it? He got more.
Like this though, Matt. It's not 45. It's like
48 or
7.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So you go from a $48 million player
no.
a year or two ago.
He got 45 with Utah. They buy him out. You still getting 45 in addition to
the additional right.
3. So you're really getting 48.
You're getting 48. But what I'm saying is just from a stature, like ego. I don't know if ego is the right word, but from a stature standpoint, you went from a year or two ago commanding $48 million to now somebody offering you a $1 or $2 million. Like I get what you're saying that you put that together, but I'm just saying from a stature of who you are, you're a Hall of Famer. Like, I don't know if you would. I mean, if he took $1 or $2 million,
but you're still getting it though. You get extra money.
I understand you're gonna get the money. I'm just saying to go from a Hall of Famer max contract guy to now a league minimum contract. Even though it's all money that you're going to pay,
maybe the next year it might kick in. Like, damn, they only offer me 6.5.
Right.
But while you getting, I know for me, if I'm getting,
you stacking all,
and they like,
I'll take that extra
2.5. Oh, sure.
I'll take that extra 2.
I'll take that because I got 50 million coming in. So that's extra money.
Well, let me say this in my critique of him as a player. Okay, I think he plays hard and all of that. I don't know how important from watching him play. I think he plays hard, and I'm not saying he doesn't care at all. But to me personally, if he really cared about winning, then he would have altered, not changed who he is or changed. He would have altered and modified some of the things that he does to be more conducive to winning if it was important to him. So for me, what's that?
Not a fair statement. What you drinking over there?
Of course it's not a fair statement because I don't know him. I've never spent 1 second with him, never been around him. I'm saying all I'm going on is my observation. I don't know how important winning is to him. So if it's just about getting bread and then yeah, to me, he'll just sign with whatever team offers him the most money. He'll play hard, and those are teams that he'll probably play more minutes because they don't have anyone as good as him, stature-wise. So he'll play a lot of minutes, get his numbers, get his check, and he'll be good with that, right? To me personally, because to me, if winning was important to him, then he wouldn't do some of the things that he does continually since he's been in the league that have caused his teams to lose. And he doesn't seem to have a problem with it. He has not changed at all since he's been a rookie. He hasn't. So to me, like I said, I'm not saying he's out there trying to lose, but I'm saying I don't know how much winning is important to him because he doesn't show any interest at all to improve the things that causes the teams he's on to lose. So
would you take him on your team?
No. Oh, what are you talking about? Like, are you talking about me now, like coaching Division II basketball?
Would you take a player like Russell Westbrook on your team?
No.
Transfer from D1. You wouldn't take him? No?
Nope. I'm getting enough grays in my beard. No.
What if he could take you over the top, though? What if potentially it could?
To me, he can't. Because he doesn't want to do the things that will help you win. He doesn't want to do them. You're not a good shooter, but you'll still shoot a pull-up 3 with 2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. And he did it as a rookie, and he still does it now. And he hasn't gotten any better. It's not like, okay, he's gotten better as a shooter. So now, okay, now it's a good shot because back then he couldn't shoot, and now he's a better shooter. He shoots this. It's the same.
But that's the same thing the same bugged out shit he do is the shit that drives him to make him a Hall of Famer. How do you turn that off?
Listen, unpredictability. Now I'm not even talking about coaching. Unpredictability in life, to me, I don't like it. I don't like it. I like consistency. If you're dribbling, if me coaching you or just being around you, and we're walking down the street together, and I have no idea what you're going to do, you could steal a car, you could punch an old lady, you could like if I have no idea what you're going to do, I don't want to be around you. Like unpredictability is a scary thing to me. Same thing with him. If every time you have the basketball in your hand, and I have no idea if you're going to make a good play or the most horrendous play in the history of basketball. That's scary, man. That is scary. To me personally. I'm good.
So no Russell Westbrook.
Give me
college. Okay.
No, I'm good. All right, so we got a little bit of time left. We got a little bit over 5 minutes, but we gotta address the new record holder, the all-time leading scorer in NBA history, Mr. LeBron James, surpassed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's record, which stood for, I think it was 30-something years. It stood his record, and LeBron broke it the other night. What was that, Tuesday, I believe? Obviously, it was huge news in the sports world, huge news in the NBA, huge news in the basketball world. The comparisons start to come out, which is, I think it's a little bit unfortunate. I think people should leave that alone for a little while. Let LeBron have his moment and his accomplishment, which is huge. I mean, it's a record that, I'll be honest with you, I didn't think it was going to be broken. And obviously LeBron's longevity, how he's taking care of himself. He hasn't, for his I don't know if it's credit is the right word, but to his benefit, he hasn't had any major injuries that have, caused him to miss a lot of games or a season and things like that, which slowed some other guys down like Kobe or whatever. But it's a record that I didn't think would be broken, but he did it, and his longevity and his consistency over that time is, it's fantastic. I mean, it's awesome. So, definitely congratulations to him. If you want to talk about where does this put him in the rankings or lists or whatever, we could, but I think it is something to be celebrated just on the accomplishment of his own. So, what were your thoughts on him breaking Kareem's record?
It was a great accomplishment. It was tough. It was tough. I was happy that he did it. Pretty much it. I didn't really feel too I think he could have, if he had the straight killer, he could put that so far out of reach.
Yeah, I agree.
Kareem did what he did. Without he had three. He only got three.
I think it was
3-pointer.
One 3-pointer his whole career. Yeah.
But his LeBron did what he had to do. He's a class.
Yeah.
And he's still 38, so you got another 4 or 5 years. Ain't nobody catching that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, like you said, he's not, knock on wood, whatever you want to say, like to his, benefit, he's avoided, in his 20-year career, he's avoided, those major injuries, and he doesn't have anything nagging that we know of, at least, like, not a chronic knee issue, not a chronic back issue, something that, can, that we've seen in the past slow guys' careers down. You know what I mean? When
does that make him surpass anyone?
As far as on the greatness chart, not to me, no. There is something to be said about longevity for sure, and it's a testament to him. Some of it is luck, though, right? Like, somebody ends up with a bad back that plagues them their whole career. That's bad luck. Or, if they get
would you say he won it by default? Like that type
of no, I would no.
Like if you averaging 25 points a game and you stick around for 30 years, like
But he's put in the work, as far as I believe. Obviously he has the money and the resources to do it, to take care of his body. But from what I understand about him, he is very serious about taking care of his body, as far as how he eats, his workout regimens, his stretching, other things that he does to, prepare himself and keep himself in that shape. And again, sometimes it's just luck. Like, you step on somebody's foot or you land the wrong way.
Yeah,
what's that?
He has escaped major injuries.
Right. That's what I'm so some of that is a little bit of luck, because you can work out as much as you want and take great care of yourself. But if something happens to your back, that's not your fault, or you turn the wrong way and your knee goes, that's going to affect you. Like Kobe had the Achilles, he had a bunch of different things like that caused him to miss games. And so, and he's a dude that I think would have, the way he took care of himself and how competitive he was, if he didn't have those major injuries, I think he would have continued to play 20 years if he could have. He just got to a point physically where it just, it probably just became too much. But so that, to me, as far as him breaking the record, it might move him up on some lists, as far as, if he went from 2 to 3, from 3 to 2, or what, wherever people had him. Does him becoming the all-time leading scorer change something? For me, at least, it doesn't. I don't know if it changed. I think people's opinions.
I heard that they said that even though Kareem was the all-time leading scorer, nobody talked about him being as the greatest.
Right. Yeah, that's part of it too.
Real quick, we got a couple minutes. Who you like for the Super Bowl?
All things being equal, if Patrick Mahomes he's not 100% healthy, I will say I'll go with the Chiefs, just based on the fact that they've been there before. Even, the Eagles won the Super Bowl a couple of years ago, and I think Kelsey was on the roster then. They have some guys that have that experience, but, Jalen Hurts has never been there. And, this is a big moment. Now, if he shows out at the Super Bowl, or Mahomes, obviously the game dynamic can go a lot of different ways. But if all things just kind of stay static, I'll go with Kansas City, just off the fact that they've been there with that team and guys that have been in that moment, in that limelight. Mahomes included, has shown up. So that would be my pick. What do you think?
I don't know. I like Kansas. I really like Kansas City, but I really like.
Yeah, he's had a great year.
But I don't know. That's tough. I probably would. I hate to go against Philly. Patrick Mahomes is just so ill.
He is.
I'm gonna probably go with Kansas.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with Kansas City today.
Okay. All right. So we're both in agreement, Kansas City. I do like, though, for the viewers that have been following the show, I do like that. And as we were talking about the Kareem and LeBron discussion, that you didn't bring up, how I said that Kareem would be very congratulatory and show up to LA when the moment happened, and you said there was no way that was going to happen and all of that.
Show up?
Of course, yes, he showed up. He was there.
I didn't know about. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I knew he had to show up because he'll look like a clown if he did.
All right, man.
Like, I don't know. You got to play that back.
We can start off next episode with that. We can start off that. I'll find it. All right.
Yeah,
but now
this is the last show anyway, by the way.
How convenient. All right. Well, we appreciate everybody support and watching us and following us. Please subscribe to our social media and continue to follow us. And we'll be back next week with another episode of Live by the 3 Sports Podcast with Tyler and Coach Matt signing out. Everyone have a great week. Enjoy the Super Bowl. And we catch you next week. Take care.
Hey, what's up, you